Hi everyone, this is Prabir here. Today someone called me and raised an issue which tickled me to do this little video blog. This was in the context of a peer becoming the person's manager. The obvious disappointments, the obvious trepidation, the obvious skepticism about the success of a peer becoming a manager. Have you had those experiences individually, or have you gone through observing people who move from being a peer to being a manager? I've had my share. In fact, the one night I could not sleep was when I was named the CHRO of this big company very early in my career. And while 80% of the team was reporting to me, 20% were not. They were in a way my peers, whether with my title or a title less, but they were my peers. And the night was of lost sleep, not because of excitement and happiness, but because of trepidation. How will they accept me? Will I be able to earn their respect to move from being a peer to being a manager? I've also, as an CHRO, been party to elevations of people from being a peer to being a boss of a team which was earlier peer. And I've seen that. And I know these are very ticklish situations. Unfortunately, many companies leave it completely to chance when they make these career decisions of elevating a peer into being the manager of the peer group. I think it is not wise to depend purely on serendipity and chance. A person can succeed or fail for reasons which are legitimate and for reasons which are not legitimate, for things that you can anticipate and for many things you cannot anticipate. For a moment, assume that the guy had functionally the right skill sets to get into a higher role. The derailment, the failure could be for behavioral compatibility, right? How much of a friend should he continue to be? Should she try and possibly be a little less of a friend, a little bit more of a boss? What works better? How much of the old peer camaraderie continues as when you move into being a boss? How well do you appraise the person? Do you soften your appraisal? Do you be a soft boss? Or do you actually hold the bar high and possibly higher, because that's the ask of you? And these are very, very small issues of what I call psychological calls that you take on people. Do you actually step back and say, you know what, I want to revisit the team composition. They were okay as peers, but this is not the team that I will need. And I very strongly believe that when companies make these transitions, it's our job to almost handhold their success. In one of the subsidiaries or a joint venture, when I was a CHR of, again, a very large company, was when we elevated a peer to being the CEO of that subsidiary. And we got our chief talent officer to be the coach for this guy for the next 6 to 8 months. And it was so important because at the end of the day, it's not just about elevating a person to a higher role, it is about enabling that guy's success. The guy will go through moments of doubt, anxiety, expectations of buy-in from peers, and peers will also go through moments where they don't know whether the guy is good enough to be the manager. There is sometimes jealousy, there is sometimes disappointment. If people leave the team, it becomes easier actually. But if they stay, how do you make that into a functional team that delivers the value? And coaching, hand-holding, supporting, making sure that you're able to do your pitch-ins to ensure that the person has the support and yet has someone who's showing the person the mirror so that the person can work on the development of being a very successful manager to peers. I would love to listen to your questions, to your experiences, to your observations, because this is a reality which will stay. And I, for one, know a lot of success of this decision depends on how well the companies enable both the peer group and the role holder to succeed in this new changed equilibrium. Let me have your questions and comments, and I'd love to respond to some of them. Take care. All the best.